Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jay, and today I have a really fun, family-friendly recipe for you. We're going to be making oatmeal bars. I like this one because it's a great opportunity to use up some of that jam that you may have sitting in your pantry. I use jam on, sandwiches and sometimes pancakes, a piece of toast, things like that. But it's really great to be able to use a whole jar of jam at once and just get it off the pantry and in our bellies. And so these oatmeal bars are an excellent opportunity to do just that. And it's really quick to put together and the whole family is gonna love them. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Here I have a baking dish and you want to either spray it with nonstick cooking spray. I'm trying to get away from nonstick cooking spray, so I did just kind of rub some butter in here and this is ready to go. I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. In a large bowl, you're going to put 2 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. You're going to put 1 cup of all-purpose flour. You're going to put half a cup of white sugar and half a cup of brown sugar. I'm using dark brown because I really need to use up this brown sugar that I have, but you can certainly use light and that's totally fine. We're gonna put in a little bit of salt here, maybe about 1/4 of a teaspoon. We're gonna add a teaspoon of cinnamon and about 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm really lazy when it comes to 4th and 8th teaspoons, and I usually just do a sprinkle. So I'm just gonna use a big spoon to kind of combine all of these ingredients. Next, we're going to add 1.5 sticks of room temperature butter, or 3/4 a cup of room temperature butter. My oven is preheated, and so I've had my butter sitting on top of my stove because that is how I bring butter up to room temperature, because I never ever remember to take it out of the freezer. It might be a little bit easier to use a hand mixer for this, especially for me since my butter's not that warm. But you basically just want to try and get your butter and your dry ingredients as incorporated as you can. I might even end up getting in here with my hands. I think it'll probably be easier than trying to do it with this spoon. All right, I did use my hands, which I actually really love doing. I only don't like to do it when it's like raw meat, but something like this, I love getting in there with my hands. I think it's so fun. I did forget when I was telling you about putting everything in this bowl to add some vanilla, but that's no big deal. We can add it now, and I don't know, maybe a little less than a tablespoon, I'd say. Oh my goodness, this is smelling so good, you guys. So I'm just gonna get in there and kind of do one more pass through, getting it all nice and mixed together now that we have that vanilla, and this smells so good, you guys. I wish that you could smell it through your screen. It smells so good. And it feels really good too. It's coarse and crumbly like I said it was gonna be, but it definitely is damp enough that like you could make it into a ball. It's really, 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 really good. Feels good, smells good, and it's gonna taste good too. All right, so this is all set here. So now we have our prepared baking dish. We're gonna take half of this mixture and put it in the bottom here. And I'm gonna use my fingers again to just kind of press this down into the bottom of our baking dish, almost like we're making a crust. All right, you guys, now it's time to decide what you want your filling to be. The thing that I really like about this recipe is that it can be used as a breakfast, it can be used as a dessert, and it can also be used as a really protein-packed snack for your kids to take to school or for you to eat at work or what have you. And so what you decide to put in it really changes the feel of this baked good. If you were to do like chocolate chips or a Nutella spread, or you could do like Nutella and banana slices, if you did something like that, I think it becomes kind of more of a dessert. Or you could do like chocolate and mini marshmallows. That could be kind of like a dessert. If you did something like peanut butter or almond butter, some kind of nut butter on the inside, then it can become like a really good protein snack for your kids to take to school or you to take to work. Or if you did kind of like a jam or a jelly, it could become kind of more of a breakfast item. So what you put inside kind of changes the direction that this takes. So I'm down here I'm in my homestead room by my jams. I'm really feeling like I want to do some kind of jam in here because I have lots of jam and butters and things like that. You could do apple preserves, you could do like an apple butter or a pear butter, something like that. So I'm just gonna kind of take a look here and see what speaks to me and see what I want to put inside here. So I've got carrot cake jam. I'm just gonna go ahead and set that aside because yum. I've got apple preserves. I just did cinnamon rolls with apple preserves though, so I think I'm gonna pass on that one. Apple preserves, apple preserves, apple preserves. Yep, all apple preserves. Oh, I have strawberry jam here. Could do that. Strawberry jam. Yep, strawberry. And then, oh, I have salted caramel pear butter. That's a maybe. Raspberry apple jam. Pineapple mango jam, orange plum jam. This one I got from the farmer's market. This is heavenly rhubarb jam. It's got rhubarb, pineapple, strawberries, sugar, and pectin. I think I'm between the carrot cake jam and the heavenly rhubarb jam. Oh, they both sound so good. I think I'm going to do the heavenly rhubarb jam because I'm thinking about growing rhubarb this coming season. And I think I want to try it out and see. I've never had rhubarb before, so I don't know if I even like the flavor. So I think I'm going to try it out and see what I think of it. Okay, this was fun. Let's go ahead and get back into the kitchen. All right, so we have half of our mixture. We're going to set that aside. And then we have the jam that we decided to use. And so I'm just gonna try to open this. Ooh, that smells good. Ah, I'm so excited. And then I'm just gonna put this whole thing right on top of the little, kind of like, I guess, sort of crust that we have going in the bottom here. And you can use like one of those soft spatulas, or I'm just gonna use the back of my spoon to kind of spread this around. Okay, and the very last step is to take your remaining original mixture and just kind of crumble it on top. Almost like you're doing like a streusel topping, right on top of whatever you decided to use for your middle layer. I'm probably gonna sit down and have a cup of tea and one of these oatmeal bars. I've had my Christmas tree on since I woke up this morning. And I think I'm just gonna have a nice quiet moment before I have to go out later. I finally found a local person to buy grass-fed butter from. I've been buying it from Azure, and that's fine. I love the butter that I get from Azure. Actually, I really like it a lot. It's really good. But I really wanted to find a local person, and I did. Okay, so this is all done. And that's it. That's all you're doing. You could do whatever you wanted. If you wanted to, you could drizzle a little bit of honey or a little bit of maple syrup on top. Honestly, you could sprinkle a little bit more cinnamon on there, a little pumpkin pie spice. You could do whatever you wanted. That's why things like this are so fun. This is really more, you're not really baking this because there's no egg in it or anything like that. You do have the flour and you want to get rid of that flour flavor. And so you are browning this is really more what I would say. You're like heating it up and browning it in the oven more than baking it. So this is really fun. You can play around with it. You can put whatever you want in it, and you can really get it to the flavor that the combination of flavors that you want. When we had the main ingredients in the bowl here, you could have added 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, and you could have had more cocoa-based oatmeal bars. I even gave you the idea of peanut butter earlier. You could, instead of having a layer in the middle, you could do like, maybe, I don't know, maybe would I do a cup? Maybe 3/4 a cup of peanut butter and mix it in with all of the ingredients and just do one layer, and you could make almost like a peanut butter oatmeal bar that way. So this is fun because it's very customizable to you and your tastes and what you want to do. You could add raisins, you could add cranberries, dried cherries, you could do whatever your heart desires. I like the idea of having the layer in the middle because I think it's a really fun surprise. And I think that way, having it be its own layer, you'll really be able to separate that flavor out from the oatmeal flavor. So that's kind of my thought process on it. So this is going to go into the oven, and we're going to bake this for about 30 minutes. My oven runs hot, as I've said in the past, so I'll probably check this around 25 minutes, maybe give it a turn, and see how it's doing. You guys, the funniest thing just happened. My neighbor, the one next to me, because I'm friends with all my neighbors, but this one next to me, her and I exchange treats back and forth because we're both in the kitchen all the time. And so she texted me and she was like, hey, I'm coming over. I've got something for you. And when she came to the door, I said, how funny, because here in about an hour, I'm going to have something for you, these oatmeal bars. And so she started handing it to me. And before I laid eyes on it, I said, what did you bring me? And then I saw it before, and she goes, people call it a lot of different things. And I saw it and I said, oh my gosh, it's pine bark. I have a video about this on my YouTube channel. So I don't know, I know pretty much most of you are new to my channel because my channel's new. I made the pine bark video a long time ago. So I'll link it down below, but it's basically cracker toffee. So you've got saltine crackers, you make an easy quick caramel on the stove, and then you layer chocolate on top. She put nuts and peppermint bits on top to make it kind of festive. And this stuff is so good. It's a really fun, really easy recipe. So I'll link that down below, but I couldn't believe it. When she brought it over, I was like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what this is and it's delicious. Thank you. All right, you guys, so these are done. What I ended up doing, I put them in for 20 minutes. When the timer went off, I flipped this because my oven tends to burn things towards the back. Put it in for another 10 minutes, and I thought it looked nice and brown enough at the 30-minute mark, so I went ahead and took it out. And I'll show you here. They've been cooling, so they're not too hot. This is what we're working with. And you can see how the jam kind of bubbled a little in the corners there. And we are going to try this out and see what we think. So I definitely think, now that I'm looking at the bottom, that I could have left these in for probably another 5 minutes because they're not holding their shape super well. So it's not going to be like a granola bar. So just keep that in mind if you're packing these for kids or something for a snack. It is, you know, somewhat soft because of the jam. Unless you bake them for a while, I'd say another 10 minutes and this would be firmer, but for my purposes, it doesn't matter. I'm fine with it being like this. So this is what we've got going on here. Really yummy, and we've got that. It's hard to see because this jam wasn't a very vibrant color to begin with, but you've got that layer of jam, that rhubarb jam right in there. So let's go ahead and try this. Little hot still, sorry. Wow. This is so good and so warm. This is a delicious, it's a winter day today, and this was the perfect thing for me to make in this house. It smells good. It's got that sweet vanilla oatmeal smell to it. And that jam, especially with it being the rhubarb jam, I'm glad I went with that because it does have a little bit of a hint of tartness to it. So that kind of offsetting the sweetness of the oatmeal mixture. This is really good. Oh yeah, there you can see. There you can see some of that jam. So yeah, guys, my advice to you would be, if you do want this to be a little bit firmer and you really want it to hold its shape and stay like in a bar shape, then definitely bake it longer. I get really nervous with my oven because it does tend to burn things. So I always err on the side of less time. But with these, I definitely could have left them in another 5 to 10 minutes just to help them be a bit firmer. So keep that in mind. But if you're okay with, I like things usually to be kind of underdone when it comes to baked goods. So I'm fine with this. It's no big deal. And there's nothing in here. There's no eggs or anything. But keep that in mind and kind of do that to your preference. Choose whatever length of baking time you think will really suit you. But you guys, these are delicious. Like I said, anybody down from small children up to, you know, my husband who can be a little bit of a picky eater, everybody's going to love these. If you're somebody who likes to have muffins and granola bars on hand and snacky things like that to have around, then this is definitely something that you should throw in that rotation. It's really, really good. So you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today on this cold winter day while we made these delicious oatmeal bars. I hope that you give them a try. If you have any questions for me, leave them down in the comments. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Be blessed, you guys. Bye.